I have two brothers that I went to Vietnam.
Do you know the year they were over there?
63.
Oh, that's before me.
Yeah, 64, 65. But one of my brothers spent 2 tours in Vietnam.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get away from over there.
Yeah, they tried to put me over, tried to get me over there, but
We'll start low.
they,
You were too young to go.
oh no,
No?
they drafted me.
Oh, okay.
They didn't supposed to.
Okay.
Well, they wanted to get me out of the place where I was. They wanted to. I'd gotten a promotion on the job, and they didn't want me where I was. So in order to get me out of there, they were going to draft me.
Mm-hmm.
I was 4F, if you remember what that is. And they decided that they were going to change me back to 1A, 4A, 1A.
1-8, yeah.
1A.
So they could draft.
Yeah, where they could draft me. And so they did. They changed it. They drafted me. And they sent me to Shreveport, to Fort Humbug. I went there, and I was there for a day. And then they sent me to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And when I went there to Fort Jackson, they had to reintroduction and all this kind of stuff. They come ask you the same questions and all this stuff. So when they got to questioning me and all this kind of stuff, and the guy told me, he says, well, why are you here? So you have 2 brothers fighting in Vietnam now? And say you're married, you have 2 kids, you're in college. Said all this, so you don't supposed to be here. And he said, well, why are you here? And I told him, I said, do you really want to know? He said, yeah, I want to know. I said, I'm a civil rights worker, number 1. And I said, I got promoted to a job where I'm over white women. And that they don't buy that.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to get rid of me, okay, the Grand Wizard of the Klux Klan's wife was over the local board. So he had it changed up to where, got everything changed to get me drafted. And at that time, everybody went to Vietnam, not everybody, but half of them went to Vietnam and came back in a box. So you remember all
Just
those
to be
days.
safe, yeah.
They came back in a box.
Mm.
So he asked me, and I told him. He
Say
said,
that again. He said everybody came back in a box.
that's not every, but most of them came back in a box, dead. But I didn't have no other choice. They drafted me, I had to go. So I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. That was to get my training. And you got 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Some of them didn't get but 8 weeks. It's supposed to have been 12. But they were running short, so you got 8 weeks and they shipped you right on. You were shipped over there for a target, really. So the guy came in, he asked me, I told him, gave the same story. He said, if you're lying, we can put you before the firing squad. I said, well, you just had to put me before that. I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth. And my brothers had given me their serial numbers of them. And he said, well, how can you prove you got 2 brothers in Vietnam? I said, I got the name, serial number, everything. He said, I will see it. So, well, I gave it to him. He went, so I'll be back. He went, checked that out, came back, and brought another guy with a little bit more authority than he had, but more stripes on it. He questioned me. He left, come back with another guy with more than he had. And he questioned me. And he asked me the same thing that the other asked me, and I told him. He said, well, we got to check this out. We'll check this out. And about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, guy came, he said, Mr. White, I don't think you're going anywhere. I think you're going back home.
Mm.
And he says, if your story checks out, we got some work to do. He said, because you don't put a person in the Army for personal reasons, personal feelings and all stuff. So they checked it all out, and the next day, they sent me back to Jonesboro. But when I got back to Jonesboro, That lady wasn't in that office anymore. I don't know what happened to her. But she wasn't up there no more. Yeah. So, I guess she felt like that only when she resigned or when they told her to resign or get out, whatever happened, but she wasn't there anymore. Mm-hmm. And after that, I don't know, it done something to me. And I started trying to help to get people registered to vote. And kind of successful at getting them to vote. But then we had people come from up north, come here to help us to get people registered to vote.
This is a core group.
Core.
Okay.
Yeah, core. Red core. And when they came, the police force, half our police force, Ku Klux Klan, so 90% of them. So they started harassing the civil rights workers. And after they kept harassing them, I just kind of joined in with them, with civil rights workers, trying to do what I could. We had several men then that hoped out. But we decided then that, hey, they needed some protection because police wouldn't protect them. They was harassing them and put them in jail and all this kind of stuff. So we decided we were going to protect them. So we formed this little group and, started trying to do what we could. And so they kind of made a few of us mad, really. Mm-hmm. Made us mad. Mm-hmm. So we decided, okay, if they can carry guns around, we can too. So we got to mess around and...
This is the police. If the police can carry guns
around,
they
can, we can too. So after that, we decided went and talked to a lawyer about getting us a charter and getting us an organization. And he told us that we could, but he explained to us what he was going to do and how he was going to do it. And he said, I can get this through to it. I can pad it to where you can get it through. And at the time that they was doing this, a lot of Ku Klux Klan at the time, they were getting charters. They were setting up, they have already had an organization. They were setting up chapters. So they was getting charters where they would be legal, So he said, I'm going to fix this. Where? They're going to think it's probably a white organization because they know it's black. They might keep fiddling around with it and mess it up and keep sending it back and all this kind of stuff. So that's how we got the charter with the right to bear arms. They thought it was a white organization. So that's
how come they thought it? How was it fixed so that they thought it was a white organization?
How?
How did the lawyer fix it?
He fixed it. He didn't put any kind of race on it, and the way he had it fixed up was just like it was on Ku Klux Klan's organization.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't think blacks would do anything like that. They didn't think we had sense enough, I guess, to get a charter for an organization of that magnitude because of the fact we supposed to have been afraid. But there was a bunch that wasn't afraid. So when we got the charter, they were rolling then.
You had a charter under what name?
Deacons for Defense.
Why Deacons for Defense?
That was the name we came up with.
How did that happen?
We, most of the people in the organization were deacons at churches.
In the church?
At
church?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Me and the guy that passed away about 3 months ago were the youngest two men in the organization. And all of them were older men. And we were the only two men in that organization that hadn't been in service. All the men that we had in there had been in service.
And so, that's what the lawyer loved that idea?
Yeah, he loved that idea of doing this. So he went ahead and pushed it, and hey, we got it.
Mr. White, when you say service, you mean like Vietnam, Korea, World War II?
They were World War II and Korea.
Yes.
Yeah, World War II and Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they were. And it was three of us. Me, Henry A. Modi Anderson, myself, and Henry Amos. It was three of us that hadn't been in the Army or Navy, or some of them been in the Marines and all the stuff. All of them were fighting men. All of them were infantry soldiers. And they know what they were doing. So that's how we got by with a lot of things. We knew what we were doing. They knew, and we taking orders. Yeah, so it was really something, because they wasn't afraid, and a lot of it got into them that where they had went and fought for this country and come back home as second-class citizens. They said, now I went and fought to save the country. Now I'm gonna have to fight to be a citizen here. I can't even vote. You know. The first time I went to vote, they gave me a test. I had to write the first paragraph of the Constitution. That's what they gave me.
What now?
First paragraph.
Of the state constitution?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of the state constitution?
No. We're like,
As a test.
we're the people that, you know. Yeah, I had to write that. And 90% of people right now, if you put that in front of them, they couldn't write it. Most of them couldn't tell you, couldn't recite it. But happened, I was in the Boy Scouts, but when I was in fifth grade, and I had to learn it. So I knew it.
Oh.
Yeah. But I never had to write it before. And I wrote it, and the first time I wrote it, I missed a couple of, didn't dot a couple of I's, didn't cross a couple of T's or something, because I was nervous. So she told me I failed. Told me to come back in a week. I went back. And that time I went back, I had everything right, but the margin on the left side was too close to the edge of the paper. You know how? So
you failed again?
I failed again. Next time I came back, I passed. I guess they were afraid because each time I got it right. But just crossing the T's and dotting the I's is why I failed the first time. And the second time was too close to that margin. Didn't have enough margin on the left side. Third time I passed it.
And this is all to try to register to vote, qualify to register to vote.
Yeah, qualified registered to vote. And at that same time, they had disqualified some people here. And two ladies which were school teachers. And one of them was the first lady that I knew that had a doctorate degree. And the other one had a master's. And they were disqualified to vote in Jackson Parish. So we decided to file some suits, on their behalf. And we had to go to federal court, over in Monroe. So they subpoenaed me to court. I went. And I was the first one to get up. And there wasn't that many people there. So he asked me. He had a newspaper. He gave it to me, told me to read the headlines. But then he asked me some questions about it and all that. And then he said, read the first paragraph from the second column and so on. Okay, I've done that. It's okay. He said, so then he asked a white guy, because they done this on purpose. The lawyer did. He knowed who could read and who couldn't write and all this stuff. So the guy got up and asked him to read the headlines. And he told him another column to read. He said, I can't read. I said, you can't read? He said, well, how did you, are you a registered voter? Yeah. He said, how did you register? I said, I made my mark. Oh, okay. Made your mark. So he asked one of the ladies who was the teachers to get up, and he said, well, I got to go through this formality, to read and all this stuff. So then he asked a white lady that she got up, and she said, well, I can't read nor write. That's what she said. Nah, I can't read nor write. And he so go ahead and sit down. And he asked a question asked the lady with the registrar, how these people here are educated, can't register to vote in Jackson Parish, and you have two people here cannot read or write. They're registered voters and they're still on the roster. And he asked her. She said, "I'm taking the fifth." And he said, "Federal court, you can't take the fifth." She got to walk out. And that was the end of that. I ain't heard nothing else about it. So they let her buy with it, you know. They let her buy with it. So, but she wasn't in the register office no more. Yeah.
So this whole effort, concern of the community was expressing your, being able to vote, be a citizen.
Being able to vote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
that's what the movement.
That's what it was. Started the movement about. And then after we got the voting started, then we got on to jobs, people in the plants and all this stuff, and then we got into the schools.
How were they fighting back, even with the voting? You say that you facing Ku Klux Klan, and you even know the Grand Dragons and this kind of thing. Well, how were they? What were they doing as you tried to get your right to vote? How were they fighting you back?
Were they fighting back?
Yeah.
They tried to kill me twice at the plant where I was working. And
during the time you're trying to register, you hadn't achieved.
Well, after I had achieved
it.
I had achieved it. That it didn't really get started till afterwards.
After you all get the vote.
After I got registered to vote.
Okay.
And so after then we started working with trying to get people jobs. Like people have been working in the plant for 25 years and still on common labor job. And which
working what plant?
Was plant here at the paper mill.
International paper mill?
No, it wasn't never international.
Diamond National?
No. It was Continental Can. At one time when I went to work there, it was Continental Can.
That's the paper plant?
Uh-huh.
Continental Can.
Continental Can. And then it got, they sold it a couple of times, a Stone Container. Well, Roger Stone bought it. Roger Stone, you seen that with
right.
Yeah, that's the Roger Stone that bought the paper mill.
Wow.
He borrowed the money, bought the mill, kept it about 10 years, never paid for it, and turned around and sold it for about twice what he paid for it. Yeah.
This is a paper company where most of the people were employed?
Right, just like Bogalusa.
Yes.
It's paper mill town.
Yes.
This is a paper mill town.
Okay, paper mill town, Jonesboro was.
Right. So, I was working there. I was working on the wood yard. It's a common labor job. I didn't like it. So, every time I would apply for another job, it was always the education block. You got to have a year of college, 2 years of college. This job requires a college degree, but I'm knowing all the time the people that own those jobs didn't have college degrees. It was just my paint job that I had that was holding me back. So I decided, well, if that's what it is, I'll go back to school. So I worked graveyard at night, went to college in the daytime.
Where did you go to college? Grambling?
Grambling, and I went to Louisiana Tech. I majored in computer science. So when I got the little 2-year degree, that's all they had then. At 67, 68, data processing will be 2 years, but now it's back about 5.5 years. We call it now computer science, dealing with data processing. So I got a degree in data processing. Then the first job came up when they got some new computers. They had to get some qualified people. So I applied for the job. And they had to give you this aptitude test to try to see and they felt like, well, there wasn't no blacks gonna pass it. I blowed it out of the water. So I got a job. And after I got the job, I didn't stop working with the civil rights movement. I kept working with it, hoping they would try to fire me because I wanted to stick them with a few things. So after that,
So there's a civil rights movement going full blast.
Yeah.
By this time.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was working at daytime and chasing Klans at night. Yeah.
So who is leading the civil rights?
At the
effort?
time, Ernest Thomas was leading.
Oh.
We call him Chili
Chili
Willie.
Willie.
Yeah, Ernest Thomas.
Yes.
Because me and him would ride together a lot at night, and we'd done a lot of retaliating, you know.
Okay.
So we had 40-something men that was in the
You had how many men in the
40. It was 47 or 48, but it didn't kept, slimming down.
I thought they never knew how many people were in the Deacon.
Well, I did. I was secretary. I know how
you
many.
were the secretary.
I was secretary. It's
Of
on,
the
it's
Deacon?
on the charter, yeah.
Okay.
I was secretary. I think it was about 47. We ended up. We had a lot more than that joined, but they got kicked out. Well, we were kicked out. We weeded them out because sometimes we'd have to have 3 meetings to have 1 meeting. Because some men could not go anywhere at night without having to come home and tell their wife what had been, what happened, what did they say, all this. We would say things to go, and somebody would go the next day and watch everything to see if it would get back. Before we would have a meeting to tell what we were going to do or what our plans were. We'd have to have 3 meetings to have 1.
Okay. So Chili Willie is in the Deacons as well as maybe helping to what is it, NAACP or what? Yeah, I'm trying to visualize all this movement going on.
Well,
while you having your success with registering to vote and getting a job, a promotion, what have you, they're coming after all of y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's the whole. Is it the whole black community, or just a certain part of the black community that's moving and struggling,
Well, it was just a certain part of the community because most of them was afraid.
Yes.
They was afraid because they were afraid to go to jail. Some of them wasn't afraid to go to jail because everything we done, we get arrested. All this stuff. And because when we integrated the library up there, I went there every day for about 3 weeks. And they decided they was going to let me in.
Okay, so that's an activity, trying to integrate the library.
Integrate the library.
And you were involved in that?
Oh yeah, I was the
What
first
happened?
person to they issued a book to.
You smart N-word. What happened?
What happened? When I went in, they decided to give me a book. They got me a card, to give me a book, but they had moved the chairs out. I couldn't sit down, and they moved the chairs out. So
No chairs in the library.
No chairs now.
So you couldn't sit down.
Couldn't sit down, but I sat there and thumbed through that book for about 30 minutes, reading all this kind of stuff and all. Then we got up and we left.
Which book was it?
It was what, Grapes of Wrath?
Grapes Around.
Yeah. But that book, I had read it anyway. And the reason why I read it, my wife was working on her doctor's degree. And they had given her that book to read, The Grapes of Wrath, and I was helping her. And I had read that book over a couple of times. So I was just, thumbing through it, looking through it, all this kind of stuff, because I read it anyway. So and after then, we had some people here, a girl and a boy, decided they were going to go to Louisiana Tech. At that time, Tech wasn't integrated. So.
Is this a 4-year college, or a 2-year college, or what?
That was after.
Louisiana Tech is a college.
It was university.
University, okay.
Louisiana Tech University.
Okay.
So they went up, but we went up there before they went. And the way we got in there to find out what was going on and what we could protect them, you know, they had all blacks working outside in the yards and the gardens and all this kind of stuff. They wore blue uniform, khaki uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
I got a blue khaki uniform, one of the guys with his name on it, and I was up there working like that, and they thought I was just one of the workers.
And you say we when that's you and
Oh, we had about 5 of us, I believe it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
are these deacons or are these?
They were deacons,
They
yeah.
were 5
Uh-huh.
So the deacons are really a civil rights organization.
Yeah, it's a civil rights organization.
okay.
Yeah, civil rights
Okay.
organization. Well, we just wasn't nonviolent. See, like Martin Luther King was nonviolent. We wasn't nonviolent.
So you're carrying out the actions of a civil rights organization,
Yeah. Mhm.
integrating the library, getting the register to vote, and now you're trying to integrate the university, Louisiana
Yeah.
Tech.
Well, we did.
And what happened?
We did. Those people were registered in school, and they graduated from there.
Did you have any resistance in registering them, trying to get them registered?
No, not really. They was kind of nasty, you know, stuff like that. But they had to go along and do what they needed to do because at that time it had come to the point if you refuse to let a black in, then that showed up on you. You couldn't refuse. You could try to make it hard for them to get in, but the 2 students went with sharp, you know. So that was.
So
yeah.
did I hear you say you went and disguised yourself in the uniform that the other blacks were working in and they thought you were a worker? And what are you discovering?
I was there for protection
Okay.
in case they tried to do something to those students.
Ah,
The 2 blacks that was up there.
there 5 of you, just you?
5 of us. There was 5 of us.
All y'all wearing the uniform like
Yeah,
you
all
were?
of us wearing uniforms.
You're really smart.
Yeah,
And-
we
and-
wore the uniform just like, and we never said nothing about it or what
Okay.
we were going to do. We got together, the deacons did, and we decided what we were going to do. That's the reason why it was so hard to get into the deacon, because we were more secret than the Klux Klan were.
Mm,
What we were going to do, we done it.
mm.
We didn't go talk about it. If I went to a meeting and come back, my wife didn't ask me nothing about it because I wasn't going to tell her.
Okay.
And if I got ready to go out to do something, I remember they had the largest Ku Klux Klan's convention right out here between here and Hodge paper mill.
Between here and where?
Hodge, where the paper mill is.
Yes.
It's about 2 miles from here.
Okay.
They had a big convention down there, and they got several days getting ready for it. And they cut out a gum tree about this big around, and I guess it was probably 30 foot tall. And they
A
cut
gum
it,
tree?
a gum tree, and they made a cross out of it. They wrapped that gum tree in crocosite burlap, as y'all call it, and put some kind of diesel fuel or something on it anyway. But they stood it up there, and that was a symbol. Okay, so when the meeting got started up there, they lit the cross. But we knowing what the cross was representing when they put it up there. So me and one of the other guys got together. I got my brother. I wouldn't go in one of my vehicles. I got a high-power rifle with an infrared scope on it. And me and the other guy, the young guy I was talking about that wasn't in service. Me and him went, my brother carried me the back side, that called the railroad track. The railroad track goes through the woods and it had a trussel there. You know what a trussel is? It goes through a branch. That's where we got out, and I got up there, and the other guy, he got up there next to the road and laid down. Well, I could see him, and he was letting me know when there's traffic and all this stuff. And I was back there on the railroad track laying down with the high-power rifle. When the meeting got started, he let me know it was time to shoot. I shot the arms off that cross. In about 15 minutes, wasn't nobody out there. Yeah. So
You did what?
I shot the arms off that cross. I had infrared scope on it at night. Infrared scope. Shot the arms off that cross. Shooting a 30-30
While it
at
was
Winchester. Huh?
While it was
While it
burning?
was burning. Yeah.
And what happened?
They dismissed. About 15 minutes. There wasn't nobody out there.
So you broke up a Ku Klux Klan rally.
Oh, yeah. Sure
That's
did.
what you're telling me.
I sure did.
Not you, the deacons, you and members of the deacons.
Yeah. We had,
Broke up
we had planned
this
it.
Ku Klux Klan
and what about
convention.
Well, but two of us went to break it up.
Two.
Yeah, the
Okay.
need but two.
You and your brother.
Yeah, me and my brother carried us in his
Okay.
car.
Okay.
Me and my other member, he left his car and truck at home. Mine was at home. And my brother carried us in his car and dropped us off.
Is this a disguise?
Yeah.
In the car, of the cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
My car was at home. Brother's car was at home.
Okay.
So my brother carried us on this side. And when we done what we were going to do, he picked us up in Hodge on the other side. So after we done what we were going to do, we took off through the woods and came back on the other
Okay.
side. And,
Okay.
you know,
So how many people would you guess was at this convention, Ku Klux Klaners?
it was probably 350, 400 people there.
And you shoot the arms off the cross. They think Jesus. They think Jesus was going against them.
But I shot him off.
My goodness. With what kind of weapon?
30 Winchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a scope on it.
Infrared scope.
And if this is a gum, a green gum, and they're using the gum arms of the gum treacher,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
that's powerful.
Yeah, well, when you're using high-power round like that, you get the high-grain bullets. That means they go further, they're stronger, and you use hollow points. Whatever they
Okay.
hit, they explode.
Okay.
See, when they hit that wood, they just explode. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a Winchester rifle.
You got a Winchester.
Oh, yeah.
You take that 30-30 Winchester, you get the right gram bullets in it, you can do some damage with it.
Okay.
I got it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a plan. That was a planned activity. That was a plan
Yeah,
that you all had made,
That was a plan.
met, and carried out.
That was a plan.
Okay.
We carried out several plans.
Okay.
Some of them I won't tell you what they were because of the fact,
Okay.
And one night we had civil rights workers come from New York.
This is core.
Core. It
Okay.
was core.
These are whites.
These are white. These
Okay.
are white people, all white. But they came, and we had to pick them up and flew down to Monroe. And we picked them up in Monroe. Me and my neighbor down here picked them up. And it was a service station up there, a Texaco station. We stopped there to get some gas. And I guess they had been following us, 'cause
The
they-
police or the Klan?
the Klans.
Okay.
So they shot my car first. Then they shot his. I still got some lead in my leg.
They shot you up at the service station?
Yeah, they shot me at the service station. But that didn't stop me. It didn't stop him.
Okay. So and what are they doing? Driving by and shooting, or come right up to you and shoot?
No, they drove by.
Okay.
Drove by and shot.
Okay.
But then we
And
let
you,
loose.
and you got injured? You got hurt?
Yeah, I got some buckshot in my leg.
Okay, so it's a shotgun that they shoot up.
They were shooting a shotgun.
Okay.
So after they shot the shotgun, they shot my car and shot his car too. Well, both of us got shot. But they took off, and by the time we got everything rounded up there, we went on down to the hospital following them. We wasn't going to the hospital down there. No kind of way. So when we got down there, we pulled up there to the hospital, nurse come running out there. They ain't here, they ain't here.
Oh, so they thought you would go to the hospital and they could catch you.
But-
I'm not catching the hospital.
Okay.
Why are they at the hospital? Looking for you to come?
Huh?
The
But-
Klan is at the hospital looking for you to come?
Yeah, 'cause we shot back.
Oh, now I get
Yeah, we
it.
shot
You
back.
shot back.
Yeah, we
we
shot
will shoot back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's somewhere. I got some papers here, newspapers where the paper in Mississippi, that where we had been over there and got in a shootout with them over there, and they give me a name over there. But when I get off from work every day over here in the office, see, I had an office job over here. At that time, in the 60s, if you had an office job, you wore a suit and tie every day. You know, that was the thing then. Now you were dressed in kind of way, but then you wore a tie. So I wore a coat and tie every day. So I would leave work, and we would go places to do things, set up. We set up voters registration and all this kind of stuff. It teach people, or either we go set up a chapter for the Deacon for Defense. You know, we were always doing something. But we was in Tugwalla. You know what Tugwalla, Mississippi is?
No.
Yeah. That's not too far from the river over there.
Okay. You said Tugwalla, Mississippi.
It's Tugwalla.
Okay.
Now, we were setting up a chapter over there. So what happened, we stopped. The people was meeting us there. And them guys, I guess, had been following because we'd been over there before to set up a registration. And they was kind of watching to see. And they came by, we would stop talking to some of the people over there that was, they was working with the civil rights movement there in Tugwalla.
Okay.
And them Klans, they knew, I guess, by we have Louisiana license on the car and all this stuff. So they gonna come by and fire a few shots, you know, gonna try to scare us. And when they fired a few shots, we fired a few back.
This is, they firing in the air or firing at you?
Well, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is. You just hear shots.
I just heard the shots, but I didn't fire up in the air.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't fire in the air.
You fired at...
I fired at the car.
Okay.
I don't know why I hit it or not, but I fired at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Along with others?
Yeah.
Okay.
Along with the other guys, there was 4 of us.
Because these are deacons who's over in Tugwalla, Mississippi, to help set up a chapter of deacons over.
We started setting up a chapter there. But that was before we got the chapter set up. That was we were trying to get started to set it up.
You organizing resistance or fighting back?
Yeah.
That's what you're organizing?
We organizing that, plus
we
we organizing
and everything?
voters registration. And
This is before you got your charter?
Well, we what?
Before you got your charter? You had gotten your charter?
We already had the charter.
Okay, all right,
We had the
okay.
charter.
Okay,
Yeah,
you were trying to get them going.
Right, we were trying to set them up. But we were legally doing what we could. What we were doing was legal.
Yes.
But the Klux Klan couldn't see that was legal.
Okay.
They wanted to stop it. Yeah.
So what you got going here is a group of whites who organized into an organization that they call the Ku Klux Klan, and they are steady fighting. You in a war.
Yeah, they started fighting.
You were in a war.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fighting. They're fighting you, and you're fighting them back.
Fighting them back.
Everywhere and every place you go, and all the time.
Everywhere you went and tried to set up a voter's registration, you had to fight. Because what it was, we had a lot of black people who were afraid. And we had a lot of black women working in the kitchen of these white people. And they would get them women to tell everything. So that's why we had to be so careful about what we done, what we said. And that's why so many men got thrown out of the Klan, out of the deacons. Because I told you a while ago, they had to go home and tell their wives what we said, what we were going to do, and all this stuff. That wouldn't work.
And they, the whites that they worked for in the kitchen, the maid, the help.
Yeah,
the help. They would question the help. They would squeeze.
Question the maid. Get the maid to get her husband to go see what they doing. Before he come back and tell her husband. And her husband Ku Klux Klan.
So you have to, from a strategy standpoint, you have to know all of this and come up with a strategy of not talking to the wives and telling the wives and what have you, because you have a system on the other side that's going to squeeze the wives to try to find out what they know or what they say, and then tell the husband, and the husband is the Klan.
Yeah.
And they have a means of coming after you.
That means of coming after, know who was there at the meeting, know what was said at the meeting, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you're fighting against, too.
Right.
So, Mr. White, speaking of them coming out, you mentioned that there were attempts made on your life in addition to the shootouts. Can you talk about those?
Yeah, well, we were unloading a truck, a Pup Woods truck. Y'all know what a Pup Woods truck is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, tell us.
Okay,
I'm sorry, yeah.
It's a truck that we had short sticks of pine logs, what they call Pup Woods, 6 foot long.
About
truck.
6 feet long.
Yeah, about 6 foot.
feet.
No,
Yeah.
6 foot long. Okay, the truck bed of where they load the Pup Wood on, well, the average one was 12 or 14 feet long, this way. And the Pup Wood was put on the crossways that way. Okay, when they bring it into the plant to unload it, they had a big crane with cables come down, and you put the cable around that wood, and they pick the whole load of wood up and put it on pile. So I was hooking cables, and the guy that was working with me, he was afraid of white people, and they done told him what they were gonna do. And he went along, he was scared not to go along with him.
This is a black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as I put my hand in the cable before I could pull it to tighten it up, he flagged the man snapped it just like that. Got my hand caught. They went ahead and picked me up on top of the pile of wood. So it was about 65 or 70 foot high. Have you seen these big piles of Pup wood? I was on top of that pile up there. I had an uncle that worked over the shop, that worked on those. He was a helper. He wasn't a mechanic, but he was the best mechanic over there, but they had him classed as a helper. So he seen it going over there. He ran over and he told that man with the drag line, he said, if you let it fall and kill him, I'm going to kill you. And someone said right here. So he eased that thing down, and they got around and pulled that load of wood around to where it could let it down and down under it. So about 3 months later, they're going to try it again. So they had told the guy what they was going to do. That wasn't the same guy, it was another guy. Told him what they were going to do and all this, and told him what time they even told him what time he was going to do it. So one guy heard him. So he came to my house that night about 12 o'clock. So he couldn't sleep. He had to come tell me.
This is a black guy?
Yeah, what they were going to do. He laid off work the next day. He didn't go to work. But he told me what time they was going to do it and what they're switching up they was going to do and all this stuff. So I said, okay. He said, I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't go. I said, yeah, I'm going. I went on to work. Let them kids, they play it out. But, okay, I'm watching my watch because the man was running the drag line, he couldn't see us back there. The man on the left side had to step out and hold his hand up for him to flag him.
Are these whites?
Yeah, he was the one, the drag line was white. That was a white man's job. The cooking the cable was a black man's job, it was a company labor job. So, at the time, I said, I said, my hand's hurting. Let me swap with you this time. You work on this side. No. I said, yeah, you get on this side. When I throw that black arm up there with a glove on, he couldn't tell whether my arm or the other man's arm. He got up there and he flipped that thing. Go throw that load of wood off on me and throw it off on him. He got 3 or 4 broke ribs and broke his shoulder, all this stuff. And so they put him in the hospital. So anytime accident like that, they're gonna come question you like that. So
this is an attempt to assassinate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the plant manager, he wanted to talk to him to see what had happened and how did the accident happen and all that. So I told him, I said, if you really want to know, I'm going to tell you. And I told him exactly what happened. He said, White, I just can't believe that. And I said, that's the same thing happened on the other accident. And I told him, I said, man, it's Klux Klan. And he says, I questioned him. And he promised me that he was not in any kind of organization or anything like that. I said, well, I'm telling you what's going on. So he told him, he says, we're going to stop White from working with him. So they gave me another job. So I'm still going to school. And went on. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, all of a sudden the lights went off at home. I know when the lights went on like that, they finna burn some crosses. I reached behind the door and got that 30-30. And I stood outside where they couldn't see me. Boy, there come that Pontiac. Turned the corner there, then one going the other way there. He went and throw that cross upside of my house and lit it. If I had not been there, it burned my house down, me and my kids and wife was in the house. But that Pontiac didn't leave there. Them steel jackets stopped it. I shot through the hood, and next morning it was still there. So the police came and told me they could arrest me for shooting that car like that. I said, well, whose is it? We don't know. That's all I do.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I work with that guy every day. I know that's his car. How you know that? It's so that? I said, no, I know his last number of his car. I know him. I've been knowing him all this. So I know who it is. So they made like they didn't know, but they called a record to come pick the car up. So this guy taking a vacation. He didn't come back to work for about 3 weeks.
So when
they had moved me. Yeah.
So when you shoot the car at your house, what does it do? And it stops the car. It gets out and run.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ku Klux Klan gets out and run.
Yeah, it was 4 of them in the car.
4 of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was 2 in the front, 1 driving. And see, they had them crosses in there. They were putting them out and lighting them. They're trying to scare people up.
So,
Yeah.
in terms of who turns out the lights, this is just at your house, or?
They turned the lights out in the whole black neighborhood. See, we had a power plant at town, and they could turn the lights off whatever neighborhood they wanted to.
When you say they, we're talking Klan.
Clans, yeah.
They're controlling the power at the power plant, turning the lights off,
Turn the lights
in
off.
the black neighborhood, and then come terrorizing,
Right.
burning cross and tossing burning cross on your line. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Wright, was that a city-owned utility or is that a private utility?
It was city-owned. It was city-owned, yeah.
Mr. White,
Yeah.
why are they after you so much? Are they after other deacon members the same way they're after you?
Well, they were after other deacons too. But I was
I know
raising,
this is your story, your personal story.
I was raising more hell at the mill. Me and another guy named Harvey Johnson, a little short guy. And we was raising all the hell at the mill. And we was showing guys how to go by filing suits and all this kind of stuff,
Trying to get better jobs.
To get better jobs, like a promotion come up in their department, they overlook them and go around them and all this stuff. So we were, and that was then when when I got the job in the computer center. I was the only black in there. And that was a white man's job. I didn't supposed to have it. And it paid too much for me. Plus the fact there's about 7 white women in there. And with my little education I had and my experience with the computers, and they didn't have any, that threw me up over them. And they said, ain't no way no so-and-so gonna be telling white women what to do. So that was the problem.
That put the target on your back.
That put the
Their
target on
target.
my back.
But you had a target.
I had one too.
You had something to put a target on their back all the time.
All the time. And they would have put me in jail and kept me in there, but when I was 11 years old, I worked for a millionaire at equipment up the road. There's two brothers, both of them millionaires. They had a big furniture company and a diamond store and it was all kinds of stuff. And I started working for them. And they taught me a lot of stuff.
Such as?
Yeah. Like when in the 50s, they put a bathroom in the store. They put one bathroom in there. One guy went and made a sign, white on it. The man called a meeting and told them, he said, I want to know why we put all the money in the same cash register and we don't try to separate it, but we can't go to the same bathroom. And he told them that bathroom back there belonged to me. And he said it's for everybody work at this store. And he said, the man that put that sign on there, but tomorrow when we come to work, it better be off. When we come to work the next day, it was off. And we never had that problem no more. We had a couple of them had to go home because of their little activities, you know. And he let the sheriff department down in Jonesboro here know that the jailhouse down there wasn't made for me. If they had a problem with me, whatever I got into, call him first. And he said, whatever I need to put up to take care of that, I'll do that in advance if you want me to. He said, but you better not put him in jail. And
This is what you're learning.
Huh?
You say you learn a lot of things. This is what you're learning.
Yeah. So they arrested me a bunch of times, but never went to jail.
Never put you in jail.
Never put me in jail.
When they get arrested for one answer, what was the worst situation for you when you get arrested?
The worst one, I guess, was they stopped me one night. Me and two or three other guys, they stopped us. They were deacons. And they hit one of the deacons. They didn't hit me. And one of them gonna catch my arm. I hit him.
Mm-hmm.
So they was supposed to be gonna arrest me for hitting police officers. So when they got up there, the sheriff told them, just let it go, let it go, let it go. Don't do that. So when I told them, I said, now, if y'all gonna arrest them, y'all gotta arrest me too. 'Cause I know they wasn't gonna arrest me. So they let us all go. But they had planned on doing something to them, but they were gonna let me go.
Okay.
But-
Let me go back to the night time you're going to get the civil rights workers from New York in Monroe, and the Klan shoots up your vehicle, and you shoot back at the Klan. What happened? Did you get to Monroe? Did you continue on, or what?
Oh, we were uptown when they shot up here in Jonesboro. We'd come all the way from Monroe back to Jonesboro.
Oh, you had already come
Yeah,
back
we'd come back to Jonesboro.
with the
with the workers, and we stopped to get some gas.
Did any of those civil rights workers get hurt?
No, did not get hurt. Just
And
me
these are whites?
Yeah, they were all white.
What's their impression at that time?
They knew what to expect and all this kind of stuff because that's what they came down here for, to help us.
Yeah, but coming from New York, and you were in a car in Jonesboro and stopping for gas, and somebody starts shooting.
Yeah, they were expecting anything to happen because they knew what they were going to what they might run into coming down here because they know what was going on down here at the time.
Okay.
So like when we went to the hospital down there, they come run out there, they ain't here, they ain't here, they ain't here. Okay, but we didn't see them no more. But me and Elmo Jacobs, the guy lived next door down there, me and him had to go to Ruston to the doctor. We had a doctor up there was doctoring on us. If one of us got hurt or something like at his house.
This is a white
It
doctor?
was a white doctor.
Okay.
But he made us promise his name would never come up because he said he could lose his license because he didn't know whether we had committed a crime or what. He's supposed to have been reporting all this. So we never mentioned it, nothing. So when I got shot, nobody knew I got shot. He got shot, nobody. Both times I got shot, nobody knew it. We didn't go tell it. So that's the reason how we got away with a lot of things. And they was if they were gaining on us, they never knew it. Yeah. So, you know, if they got shot, they could go to any doctor they wanted to, like that, but we couldn't.
Okay.
So-
Mr.
so-
White, you talk about working with CORE, and can you talk about how the deacons work with other civil rights organizations, like say NAACP or
Yeah, we worked with the NAACP. Yeah. We protected any of them that needed protection. Yeah, any of them.
Would they ask you for protection?
Yeah,
or
they would
do you-
ask.
Okay. How would they ask?
They would ask, they tell us what they was finna do, and they were gonna march such a place, and ask if we would come and stand by. Because they said, if they know you all are there, they're not gonna do anything. And that was true. Because they know if they showed up, we show out. So, and you know, we didn't play.
This is Charlie. Is it Charlie Fenton?
Yeah, Charlie Fenton was a nonviolent guy.
That's
He
what
was
I'm
with-
saying. There's some kind way they play it in the movie. With it, there's some issue going on between someone. It's Charlie's the nonviolent guy.
Yeah, he was nonviolent, but he never tried to stop us.
Okay.
He knew that we was protecting him, but he was nonviolent. He didn't fight himself.
He was a core man.
He was core man.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, several of them core.
Yeah, I was in
James
the core
Farmer
organization
and,
in California.
Easy Young and all them guys. We protected them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When they
Like how?
well, if they came to town to make a speech or came to help us, we guarded them. And the police department knowed if we were guarding them, they stayed back out of the way because they said we were crazy.
We being the deacons right now.
Yeah, we been, when I say we, anytime I say we, I mean the deacons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime I say we, I mean the deacons.
What's when you're guarding? What are you guarding? I mean, who are you? What do you have?
What did I have?
Yeah, to be guarding somebody.
What kind of weapon or something?
I don't know. Do you have weapons?
Yeah, we had weapons.
And you what do you have a routine, a regimen, a plan?
We always had a plan.
Okay.
If somebody was coming to town to speak, we always had a plan. We didn't do nothing off the top of your head.
Okay.
Every time we done something, we had a plan. That's how we got to where we were going. We had a plan. And we had a lot of people in the organization that had some brain. And they know how to set up things. And everybody in there was basically educated. We didn't have a problem with that.
You got these military people. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say the same thing. So we have people with military experience.
Right.
That know how to
And was
set
high up in the military. And they, like I say, they were all infantry people. They knew how to fight. They know how to do. And they didn't mind doing what they done. Yeah. And they was mad because of the fact they come home, they done went World War II, some of them Korea, all that. They come home and they second class citizens. Somebody sitting up here while you gone, you fighting, or you done got shot, you got a Purple Heart, but where's the Purple Heart? Nothing. Then somebody gonna tell you got to sit on the back seat. You go in the courthouse up there. The bathroom says colored. The water fountain says colored. You couldn't use the facilities. All the places you want to get something to eat, there's a window here says white on it, and the window that's a color. All those things.
Okay, I'm trying to visualize now. You got the core group coming in.
Yeah.
What are these young whites doing?
They are going around getting people registered to vote. They are going around helping people to file suits. There wasn't a bunch of dummies. There were a bunch of smart people that came down.
Are they getting harassed by the police?
Yes, sir. They were getting arrested.
Like
by the
how?
police. Some of them got beat up by the police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ku Klux?
Yeah, some of them most of them by the Ku Klux Klan, because what they would do, they would deputize a whole bunch of them clans. You got me?
No, I'm sorry, I missed that.
They would deputize
Oh, okay.
the clan.
I thought I heard jeopardize. Okay.
No,
Okay.
they would deputize
Yes.
the clan.
Yes, I got you.
Yeah.
And
So we knew who they were because, we had some eyes in places that they didn't think we had eyes. And we had some people that would talk. We had some white people would talk.
mm,
Yeah. I don't care what organization you got or what they're in. You got some people for that in God we trust. They'll talk. And they know not to lie to us. They have to tell the truth. Because then they know us. So we would get about anything we wanted. We found out anything we wanted to find out.
okay.
Yeah. Because like I said, we had a lot of people was donating to us, contributing money, good money, because they was tired of what was going on. Yeah.
These are donation of funds, money, and whatever.
Yeah, they donate.
Okay.
Sure.
For you to operate,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and what else with this money?
Whatever we do with that money, we put it in treasure and keep it.
Mhm.
Then use it for what we need to use it for.
For operations.
Yeah,
purposes,
operations.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of it used for bond money. This kind of stuff.
So now we got Deacons as an organization. Is CORE setting up here as an organization?
Yeah, Corbin Senators.
It's setting up as its own organization?
Yeah.
Okay. You got NAACP,
NAACP,
Voters League?
Voters League, NAACP and Voters League kind of merged together.
Yes,
They
yes,
can
yeah,
merge together.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
We-
many deacons are NAACP members?
How many deacons with NAACP members?
All of them?
No.
Okay.
I don't think we had maybe 2 or 3 deacons
Okay.
with NAACP.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is I see in most of the other deacon chapters, they were NAACP members, but I can see what's happening. Later on, they had to be, they were NAACP in the beginning, but the stuff was so hot, they had to form something to defend themselves. I got it. I pick it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was CORE doing as an organization?
Other was doing what they were sent here to do.
Okay.
To get people registered to vote and help people that didn't know how to go about filing suits for their jobs, these kind of things, and going helping people organize to go for sit-ins and things like that.
Okay.
That's what they were doing.
They had their own office?
CORE?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we had places for them. We had places.
We had a place
for them.
Okay.
We had our own. We didn't.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. The CORE people sit in with NAACP, the black community, in the decision-making process. They didn't try to. They tried to be.
Well, the NAACP and CORE was, like I said, they was just like this.
Okay.
They made the decisions together about what they were gonna do.
Okay.
When they just didn't with the Deacons for Defense, we didn't. Get that one. We just didn't. We didn't let nobody come in.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't bond with nobody. Who is? Who is?
Mr. White, I wonder if I could
Go ahead.
kind of go back and earlier in your life history to maybe talk about what life was like here before the movement and the types of issues that black people had to face in Jonesboro when you were growing up.
Well, when I was growing up, we had most of the black men here worked in the woods. They cut Pup Woods. They worked the sawmill and those kind of and farmed when I was growing up. My daddy was a farmer. He stopped farming and went into the logging business. And that's what he'd done that all, from then on. And but everything was based on excuse me, it was two worlds, a white world and a black world. They paid the black people, a different price to haul Pup Wood than they did. And I found that out when I got the job, the computer center, well, programming the computer. They were still doing that. They were paying the white people more to haul the Pup Wood than they were the blacks. So I went and bought me a Pup Wood truck, and I had people out there working. But they paid me the same thing they paid white people. In most cases, they paid me more because they didn't want me to talk. Yeah.
So when you go into high school, what's going on? I know we came into the interview from the backside.
Yeah.
We're backing up. So you were born and raised in Jonesboro.
I was born in Lincoln Parish. And most of my raising, bringing up, was in Bienville Parish. Then I moved to Jackson Parish.
Okay, so what's going on in Lincoln? What's the second parish?
Bienville.
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 Bienville. Okay.
Yeah.
What's life like that?
Life was just like it was in all other places around here. It was a black world and a white world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening in the black world?
Same old thing. You got the low-paying jobs. You got you went to the schools where they didn't have much to teach with. Every book you picked up had pages tore out of it, and when they bring us new desks, they might not carve their name all of them and all this stuff. They come from the other schools. The books, and we had to sit on the benches that we had, the seats. When I was in elementary school, 2 people sat on the same seat. You ever seen them kind of? Yeah.
The front bench.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And 2 people
out like that. Yeah.
2 people look on the same book.
On the same book, sitting on the same bench.
On the same bench. When the class was over, they take the books up. You didn't carry them home. You couldn't study. Yeah. So, I thought that I was learning something in school, but after I found out when I went to college,
yeah, same here.
I found out that I hadn't learned anything. I had to take intermediate
English
course.
all over again.
Yeah, English, math, and computer science or data processing. I had never heard of calculus before. We had to have calculus 1, calculus 2, but by me being, well, I wouldn't say smart, but average student, I could get my lesson. I could learn fast. Other than that, I wouldn't have been able to make it because a lot of courses that I'd never heard of before that they had at Louisiana Tech, they didn't have a grammar.
Okay, so you're in this high school with white folks?
No, no indeed.
What's going on?
The schools they wasn't integrated at that time. We had black schools and white schools.
Okay, in Bienville Parish, you're going to school?
Yeah.
Are you working? You got a job?
Yeah, I had a job when I was in high school. Sure did.
Doing what?
Worked at the same place I told you, furniture company.
Working for the millionaire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. White, when you were growing up, maybe when you were 7, 8, 9, or 10, were there some black people who were already fighting back against?
No.
No.
No, you couldn't fight back because if you raised a hand in that direction any kind of way, they'd kill you, or they'd come up missing, or they'd put you in jail. Most time you come up missing. And couldn't be nothing done about it.
You know of anything or recall anything of that sort?
No, back then I wasn't
old
trying
folks
to.
talking about?
They didn't talk about things like that
Right,
because,
right.
But they didn't talk about it. I'm sure they knew. But the older people, I'm sure your parents were that way. They didn't talk about things around kids. They didn't do that. Nowadays, people say they talk about the kids. Kids know too much. But then they didn't talk any kind of business or know nothing around your kids. Oh, you ought to know about that.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah. How about who who's in the house with you? You in the house with your parents and
Yeah.
brothers and sisters? How many of y'all?
7,
7.
5 boys and 2 girls.
And what are you doing? You just living life, going to school?
Yeah, my daddy at an early age, he's a farmer. That's what he called farming. So we worked, went to school. And,
Okay, so how old were you when this something happens to you? Is it when you go to you're drafted before you start feeling you need to get involved? Stuff is happening?
no, I was already doing some things. I was
Okay.
already doing a lot of things. That's why I
Okay.
was drafted.
That's why you were drafted.
That's why I was
That-
drafted.
that's okay.
That's
So
right.
the movement has awakened you. The civil.
Oh yeah,
people-
I done woke up way before then, before
Okay.
I got drafted.
That's what you was asking.
That's why I got drafted.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the movement is here among the black community. There's a movement going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you?
Well, I was going to ask too, Mr. White. Now you're saying that you're getting involved, but you were saying earlier that a lot of people didn't get involved because of legitimate fear.
Right.
What set you apart? Why did you get involved
It just-
initially?
I ask myself that sometime now. Well,
What
was
does
I
self
crazy or what?
What does self say?
So Seth told me that's what I need to do.
Okay.
I got off into it, and once I got off into it, I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't back up.
Yeah. Once it's in your system.
It
Yeah.
got into my system, I couldn't back up.
Mm.
And right now, I got this feeling I'm not afraid of anything. I don't back up off of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it got into me, and it didn't come out. And the more I got off into it, the more they were doing things to fuel the fire.
Mm. Such as.
They were still discriminating against the blacks. They were still running us around on the jobs. They were still giving us half of what we're supposed to get in the schools. They were just, you know how all those things happened. And if you was concerned about it, you would try to do something about it, especially if you had some help. But if you didn't have any help, you had to sit down and shut up.
And you had help.
I had help.
That was help.
Yeah.
That was organization.
Yeah.
What can you think of? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, at first, when I first started out doing some things, it wasn't no organization. I helped to bring the organization together to make an organization.
This is the Deacon organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But what about the overall black community? There's organization, there's movement going on.
No, the whole black community wasn't involved. That's
Okay.
where you live. You just had certain ones that would get off into it. The rest of them were afraid. They didn't do that.
Get into the struggle.
Yeah.
Now this is not the Deacons, but they're struggling to register the vote.
They didn't get off into the register to vote or anything. A lot of the blacks in the community didn't get off into anything.
Okay.
They stayed in the
afraid.
house.
They're afraid.
They was afraid.
Okay. So what spurs this Deacons? At some point, you're saying, okay, is it the career, World War I vet, the whole feeling of we've done all this fighting for this country and we can't vote and we can't. Is it that kind of thing that's driving people?
Yeah,
or is it many things?
That was driving them, but when you seeing your people being messed over,
Okay, what
if
do you mean messed over?
if you're a man and you got feelings for your family,
Yes.
and you see your family, don't have to be your immediate family staying in the house with you,
Okay.
but the community, and you done been and fought for this country, you gonna rise up again. It's something in you. Every serviceman you see, he got something in him.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't just sit down.
Every person that's been into the military that you see has got something.
He's
in
got
it.
something in him. Yeah.
Can you put a time on when this might? What is this? I know you in '64, according to the history. This is when you all organized, formally, huh?
Yeah,
This
formally in '64, but we had really started doing this in 63. 64 when they said everything got started. But we organized and got a charter in 64. That's when we filed for charter and all this stuff.
This is when you. How did it happen?
What do you mean how it happened?
I mean, how did you all decide to come together?
Well, we were doing things and trying to get people to register to vote and all this kind of stuff. And then we had people to come here from up north to help us. And they were not being protected. The police were beating them up and all this kind of stuff. So we felt like we had to help.
Okay.
We had to protect the people that come here to help us.
What's your first meeting? Who calls it together? This is common discussion going on all the time.
Yeah, there was a common discussion going on, and I don't know who said the first meet, but anyway, we were all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were all together. We had the first meeting. It used to be a 2-story building right here, side of my house. That's
Here in this space is your first meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
right out there.
On this land base.
Uh-huh.
On this land right here. That's
Yeah.
your first meeting.
It belonged, what that building was a Masonic hall, 2-story. You know, Masonic building was all 2-story. There's a little building out there, 2-story building. And I had it burnt down last year because it had got beyond repairs, you know. It was stored. I kept it, and I burnt it down.
So that's where you had first meeting.
That's where we had our first meeting for the deacons. We had our first meeting there, and that's where we had all of our deacons meetings right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Mr. White, were there so in the building, were there Black Mason organization here, Black
Yeah.
Masons?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what it was, a Masonic building, Masons, yeah.
So were there a lot of members of the Masons back then?
Yeah, at that time, it was quite a few. Yeah, it was quite a few of them. Yeah.
It's interesting. Everywhere we go, when we've done a lot of interviews up in the Delta, a lot of movement activists tell us the very first meeting they had in whatever little town or rural area was in a Masonic temple.
Yeah, most of them were. It had to be there or in the church.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you went to Masonic Hall, it was upstairs. And you had somebody downstairs that didn't let nobody go upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have private meetings like that. Because we had people, like I say, were going around listening where they could run back and tell what was going on. So that's why.
Okay.
And see, then again, in order to be able to get a Masonic Hall, most of the people were, not most, I guess probably half of them, they were Masonics. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you really got a movement going, you got an organization, defense going on. How do people know what's going on up here in Jonesboro to the point of where they're asking for help somewhere else?
It was all over the news, the newspapers, TV, and everything else.
Shootings.
We had everything going on.
Everything, all of it's in the news. Everything that's happening is in the news.
Yeah.
National news.
Yeah.
You got national people coming in to
We had people coming in here all the time, you know. We were on the news, with papers, every paper around, the news, everything.
Okay.
We had all kind of coverage.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's your feeling about the FBI?
Well, they went to work with me.
Is that right?
Yeah, they went to work with me every day.
Is that right?
Sure did. And some of the other was in the deacons. They went to work with them too. That's when J. Hoover, I think he had a special note when you get that, you'll find it. What he didn't like.
In the archive, the deacon's archive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now you probably had already read it.
No, I do that slavery stuff.
Yeah.
This is a side deal for me because in Natchez it's silent and it's dying out and people don't know. So I wanted to focus on the deacons because that's where I was associated. See? And the deacons were a civil rights organization, and all this nonviolence and King and all that stuff didn't work here.
No, it didn't work
It
here.
didn't work here.
No, it didn't work here. In a lot of places, King went. If it hadn't been for the deacons backing him up, he wouldn't have been successful.
He would have been shot sooner.
He'd have been shot sooner. But then when they found out the deacons were following him, but they wasn't showing their face or showing their hand, but they knew they was there, then he got a lot more things done.
Speaking of that, was Jonesboro Deacons on the March of Fear, James Meredith's March of Fear? Was there any time that you had to protect King?
Do we had to protect King?
Yeah.
We always, if we went to where he was speaking, everywhere we went able to protect.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, we went able to protect.
What are some of the examples?
I won't tell you that.
Okay.
I won't tell you that.
Okay.
No, we won't go there.
You can do the fifth on that.
Yeah, because there's some things that happen, we're going to leave it there.
Yes, okay. Why go to, what happens after, what's the next deacon chapter after Jonesboro? What's the first deacon chapter that you all
Well, the next real chapter that we had was successful. We tried to set up some, but Bogalusa.
Bogalusa. On the day that Malcolm's assassinated, you're on your way there.
That's right.
What you heard about? How did you feel about it? What was the mood among?
Well, it was late when we found out what had gone on because we didn't have the communication that we have now. You know,
right, exactly.
We didn't have them kind of communications.
You were already in Bogalusa when you found out.
Yeah, it's already in Bogalusa.
Okay.
Yeah, and see, we just couldn't drive up down to Bogalusa. You don't understand what Bogalusa was. Bogalusa was the.
We went to Bogalusa now, man. I
Bogalusa
have to draw back now.
Now, you say you couldn't just drive Bogalusa. Now, what is that? What do you mean?
You just didn't drive up down there, and they didn't know who you were. What I mean, them Klan was so strong down there that they watched everything, and every white man down there was almost Klans. Mm-hmm. They were just that strong. And if you went down there, they know who you were.
They know you out of town.
They know you out of town. But once the deacons got established and had a few rounds with them, it was something that they supposed to shoot at you or tell you to run. You supposed to run. But see, the deacon didn't run. They shoot back. But like I said, I had a newspaper here. Someone come from Mississippi, and they said, "Watch." They named me Pretty Boy because I wore a suit all the time. And they said, "Watch Pretty Boy, because he'll shoot you." And if you shoot at me, I'm going to shoot back. And if you shoot up in the air, that's your problem. I wasn't shooting there.
So this is where the professor from Georgia who wrote the book We Will Shoot Back, he came over here and interviewed people. That's where he's getting it from. Huh? Mm-hmm. All right. This is Professor Akinyele Amoja's book, We Will Shoot Back. It's about the deacons.
We're old friends. I've known him for years.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to, when we was up at Tech up there, I was out there with that shovel, with that long sleeve shirt on in the summertime. Putting the dirt around on flowers, and I said, "Sonny boy!" Like he didn't know my name. My name was on the shirt there. But it wasn't my name, it doesn't man's name. But I was going to answer to it. "You're going to get too hot out here with that long sleeve shirt on, ain't you?" "No, sir." But see, he didn't know I had my Uzi up under that shirt. I had a 100-round clip in, and I had one tied around me. And we were going to have some fun if anything had started. Another guy that worked over there, guy that worked down there, that lived right down here, he had his. And, we got into some scuffles that they know what we would do. And that's why we got by the thing that we done, because they know whatever they done, we're going to retaliate.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, they knew that.
Okay. So now you headed to Bogalusa. You were in Bogalusa. That's your first chapter.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What happens in Bogalusa?
Well, a lot of things happened.
You're meeting with Robert Hicks and
Robert Hicks,
Sims and
Charles Sims,
mm-hmm.
all this stuff, and got a couple more guys down
These
there.
are World War II.
Yeah.
I mean World War I, or career veterans too.
I don't. Some of them.
We'll look it up.
Some
We'll
of them
look it
was.
up. These are Bogalusa leaders.
Yeah, but
They're NAACP members.
Yeah,
voting
but,
right members. And whatnot.
what this guy name? We
And another
3
paper
years.
mill town
3 years ago, we had our 50th year anniversary
of the Deacon.
Deacons, yeah. And we,
Wow.
50 years.
Was last year?
Huh?
Hill?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
Lance go?
Lance, we had it in New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
They,
that's in his
on
backyard.
that day, they gave us that day at Xavier University. They shut the university down and gave that day to the Deacons.
Ah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the keynote speaker for that day. I spoke at
okay.
And but you go down to the history department now, you see all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, we had all the Lance Hills and all the guys that was there.
Okay.
And I forget this guy's name from Bogalusa. My short-term memory is getting kind of faded.
Burrs.
Like
Burrs. Is it Burrs?
no,
That's the
Yeah.
name of the people we interviewed, right? Burrs.
Might
And
have
can you remember the
big
other
heavy.
person?
He's a heavy set guy, and I don't know.
No, he was a smallish man right now. Anyway, the barber, the guy who ran the barber shop, there are a couple of them that didn't show up.
Yeah.
What have you.
But this guy here, he also worked at the paper mill.
Okay.
But he big guy, and he and I both spoke down to New Orleans. We were the only one that spoke. But some other guys with the movement, with the Corps,
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of them, they spoke and all this. But for the Deacons, he and I were the only two. We're only two Deacons there.
Mm.
From this area. We had some from California and all the other places. Some, some from
Is this Chili Willie from California?
Chili Willie was really from here.
Yeah, but he's in California for a while. Huh?
Yeah, he was in California. When he left here, he went to California and he never even come back here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he set up a chapter in California. That big,
Is that right? Okay.
big chapter there.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco area.
Yeah.
If there was one, I would have been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and
Wow. So this is the influence of the Deacons on the Black Panthers. He's in California.
he wasn't involved in the Black.
No, the Panthers copied the Deacons.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Kirkpatrick and Chili Willie and those folks. What are these are all your comrades?
Yeah.
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 Y'all all
Frederick
comrades.
Douglass Kilpatrick
Yes.
and Chili Willie. We had Henry Amos, Percy Bradford, Cosetti Jackson, Ciola Quarles. All of those guys were the first guys but then, we only had to have 5 for the charter. So,
That's what you did, 5 for the charter.
yeah, we done 5 for the charter. I was secretary and Chili Willie was president. We just,
Are they all gone now? They all
I'm
passed?
the only one living.
Okay, that's what you said. Yeah. What kind of question is that? Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
only one.
So you can call that name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could sit down sometime and tell you everybody was in that. But then again, at some time I can't think of
Right.
all
Right.
that stuff.
Now, what's the next chapter? You set up. Bogalusa is the main one.
Bogalusa was the main one after Jonesboro. We had tried to set up some other places, but they didn't work out.
I understand you set up Faraday, huh?
Yeah.
We talked to Lewis, Buck Lewis.
Buck Lewis.
Yeah.
And we set up chapter up at Grambling, but it didn't last.
Okay.
And we set up a lot of chapters, but they didn't hold. They stayed for a while and they just faded out because of too much pressure on them. You had to be where you had to have it in your blood. And some of it got too dangerous for them, and some of them the wife had them to get out of it. It's like that. So we went to upstate, set up some chapters, And just a whole bunch of places we set up chapters.
Okay.
And I can't think all the places that we set up. We were 54 chapters or something like that. You read that, but I think it was 54.
So what I've been gathering from reading the history is that the success of civil rights movement in the Southwest, particularly Louisiana, Mississippi, is the Deacons is a part of the responsibility, a major part of the responsibility of the success of the gaining civil rights.
Yeah.
In these states, particularly Louisiana, Mississippi.
Southern states, yeah.
The southern states.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for a long, when Lance wrote that book, he wanted to put a lot more about me in that book. I wouldn't let him, and I wouldn't let him put my picture in there because, and the others that were still living, their picture wasn't in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, you do not put a living person in a book like that. I said, because they know my name, but they don't know my face. And these people wanted to see my face to see what I look like. So somebody might be toting a pound of lead around for me, they know my name and don't know my face. But if you show my face, then it's, payback.
Okay.
Retaliation,
Okay.
So that's the reason why. So when I kick the bucket, they'll rewrite that book again, then they all just come out of it.
Right.
But I wouldn't let them.
Mr. White, what kind of, for younger people today, there's a lot of problems, obviously, unsolved issues of civil rights, economic inequality, all these issues people are dealing with now. What kind of lessons would you tell them that you learned from the Deacons that could be helpful to young organizers today?
With young organizers, well, the number one thing is you got to find some men that you can work with. Right now, in our race, we don't have that many young black men that's interested in doing things like that. They're not, you got a few, but not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You got a few. But most of them, I tell you what, you stop down here, you go by the prison down there, you'll find.
Mm-hmm.
Every prison you go to, you'll find about
Full.
80% of them are black.
Mm-hmm.
Black young men. Half of them in there for misdemeanor things they shouldn't be in there.
Mm-hmm.
The same way about Angola now. Last 3 people they killed at Angola were innocent. So they ain't killed now in 10 years. They've been on death row. But why didn't they give them a trial before they killed them? They wait till afterwards and done everything. They come and find the people innocent. Now they won't kill no more because they might be innocent. Well, why don't you go ahead and get the people a trial? You know why? Because if you got a man that's innocent, you've had him on death row for 30 years, and that man had a good job when you put him in there, you got to pay that man. Yeah. So they don't want to have to pay nobody. So they let them sit there and die.
Was your question, Paul, in addition, what do you think about what's happening to the African American community or what's happening, period?
Well,
are we losing our rights?
Yeah, we are. We're losing our rights simply because we are not doing what we need to do or what we can do. There's a lot we can do for ourselves right now if we had the manpower to do it.
Okay.
And it's not fighting. It's young men that will.
Okay, do for ourselves, not integrate into demanding something from somebody else,
Right.
from the white
Do
race.
something
Well,
for them.
it's a lot that we can do for ourselves.
That's right. Do something for yourself. But, okay. Right now, okay, I got some rental property. And I have a problem with, okay, most of my rentals are women. Over half of them are young women. They don't have a husband, but they got a man. And most of them don't work. She's taking the kids' child support or welfare or whatever and taking care of the man. And that's what happening to our race. They don't want to do nothing. They ain't doing nothing. You got a few that's getting out there trying to do what it's supposed to do. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to work. They're just being earnest about it. No sense in trying to take up or hold up or anything. Just being earnest about it. Until we decide to do something for ourselves, we still steady sinking. Steady sinking. We had gotten, in the 60s, we had rose above where they thought we should be. And we were going on. But for some reason or another, they just turned around and stopped doing anything.
Some reason or another.
Some reason or another. We won't make our kids go to school. We don't make them work. Why you gonna work and you don't have to? You know.
Mr. White, we've taken up a lot of your time, and this has been
No
incredibly educational. We really appreciate it. Are there other things you wanted to talk to us or share with us before we kind of wrap up?
No, it's a lot of things that happened with the deacons I won't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of things.
It's understandable.
Yeah,
We run into that all the time.
Yeah, because it was tight. It was, you know. But I guess if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again.
Of course.
I'd do it again. But I would really like to see young black men get up and start doing something. Get an education. Look your best. Don't look your worstest. You know?
You said you spoke at Grambling recently. Is that what you told him?
Yeah, I told them that, sure.
Tell me about that. I mean, you just told me, I took a note that you spoke at Grambling, but what was that all about?
Well, the same thing. We had some other organizations there speaking, but we were the keynote speakers. I had two of the ladies that was was there.
Excuse me, could you hold just to let this phone system stop ringing?
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just let it
Just
stop.
let it ring. It stopped and ring.
Okay. So what happened? Why were you at Grambling?
Yeah, we talked about jobs. We talked about education. We talking about.
Who's we?
I had two ladies with me that at that time when the deacon, they were messengers for us. If I was going somewhere and I couldn't get a hold to one of the other deacons to let them know, we had a couple of ladies that we could get in touch with, and they would always know where we were.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but they didn't talk.
Yes, no.
They didn't talk.
And so these are the ladies that's accompanying, going with you over
Yeah,
Grambling.
they went over to Grambling. They've been other places with me too.
Yeah. And so you have a speakers bureau, huh? You go speak, you give speeches.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're at Grambling doing this speech, and what are you saying to these young college students?
I was telling them they need to do something for themselves, and I was letting them know what to look for in the world. And if they didn't do something for themselves, don't be looking for somebody else to do something for them. They have the opportunity to get an education, do your best. And I let them know what I had gone through and what their parent had gone through, trying to get them where they are. It's left up to them to go further. And if they don't do something for themselves, your parent ain't gonna be with you always. And you get to the point of where you go to school, you stay up there 4 years, and you still like you got about half the requirements that you need.
4 years.
In 4 years, you're supposed to be done finished in 4 years, but you about halfway through. And your parent, you done got them in bad shape financially, trying to do something for you.
Okay, you brought up an interesting point to me, and I guess to everybody else. We have a role for women that's different than the ones who might be squeezed into talking from working with in kitchens.
Yeah.
We got black women here going on. What's going on? We
Well,
got
these-
we got your compadres,
Yeah.
black women.
We had 2 black women, and they did not talk. They only what we wanted them to talk about. They didn't. You go right now, and they won't tell you nothing
Okay.
about the deacons,
Okay.
and they know everything about them. They
Okay.
won't tell you nothing. No. At one point, we had radios. We had communication, and we had one woman that kept a radio on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I got in trouble somewhere, I could call her. We had our own citizen band radios. And nobody else. And we even had, we had the crystals of the sheriff department on our radio. We could listen to them. And the police department, we could listen, but they couldn't listen to us.
Okay.
We had a man that lived here in Jonesboro, was in the Air Force. He made the Air Force career. He was college graduate and all that. He was in communications.
This is a black man.
Black man, yeah. He was in communications. And he was able to get us the radios.
Mm.
And we could not tell where these radios came from because they were against the law, because they were Army radios.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You had secure radios.
Yeah, that's good radios. And I remember one time we went to a Ku Klux Klan's meeting. We went that day and crawled up under the building because they had the building out in the woods, whatever. We crawled up under the building and stayed there until they had the meeting and listened to everything they were saying, everything they talked about. And they got up and left us under the building because they had sealed up around there. We got up under that. But I was up under that, me and another guy was up under that building. And I had one of those radios. And I had the squeak turned down and the volume turned down. But it had a hand on it. And the lady could tell if I was in trouble by me depressing the talk button on it, the hand would press. Mm-hmm. And if she couldn't hear me and that register, she knew I was in trouble.
Was there a case when you were in trouble?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's cases where we were in trouble. And she knowed exactly where we were, and then, hey, it wouldn't be long, it was some help coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just 2.
Huh?
Just 2 women.
Just 2.
No others. Okay.
No, just 2.
These are deaconess
Yeah.
for defense.
Yeah.
Deaconess. I'll call this term now. These were deaconess for
They
defense.
work with the deacons, we put it
Okay.
that way.
They work with the
They
deacons.
work with the deacons, and they always.
Just these 2. No
Yeah.
other women
No,
this close or
no.
anything. Are there other women in the movement?
Not in the deacons.
Okay.
Not
Not
with
in the
deacons.
deacons.
Them
I
the
got it.
only
Okay.
2 women
Okay.
that was in Jonesboro deacons.
Okay.
Now, if any other of the deacons organizations had some women in it, we didn't know nothing about it.
Okay.
We just had them too, and they were for communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one other element. Was there ever a boycott of the white business here?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So boycott, armed defense, and what did you do to were there activities that kept the black people from breaking the boycott? Some black people.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to compare this model. This is a deacon model. I mean, a model that wins civil rights. Boycott, armed defense, and enforcing the boycott in the black community.
Enforcing it.
Okay.
And after they learned about the deacons and whatever we wanted, the community got where they was behind us, they would do it. We had a guy down here had a grocery store, and he's gonna lead the clans down through the community at night.
A white guy?
Yeah, he's a white guy, young. But then, in about a month's time, his store was closed. We put him out of business.
Stores closed, places are burned.
We didn't burn it.
No,
We
I told
built
him not to.
Boycott, economic.
economic boycott.
Okay.
If you don't, hey, if you got a business and you don't make no sales, you can't stay there.
Right, right.
You got employees, and it was a family business. So everybody in the family had to go get a job. Close the store down.
Marissa, you got any questions? This is strange to you? Not strange. How is that for you? You have a question on that?
think
Nothing in your mind?
I think you all have covered it, but it's so much you don't learn in school.
You?
Yeah.
No?
No.
I just want to know, is this something that you've heard before? Can you imagine this?
Not before this trip, I didn't. I had
Okay.
never heard of the deacons.
Yeah, but it's, you know, sometime now I'll wake up at night and I'm, you know, I get, because,
That's on a full stomach when it happened?
huh?
Is that on a full stomach when that happened?
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes it scares me.
It's like PTSD.
Yeah.
Your flashbacks.
Yeah, I have nightmares.
You fighting that fight?
Yeah.
Man, I fought the Ku Klux Klan for a long time in California when I left here. How long you fought them in your sleep?
How long?
You still fight
I
them,
still
huh?
fight them. Yeah, I wake up sometime and
So they talk about post-traumatic stress and no. You still fighting them.
I'm still fighting them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a lot
can
of
see
times
it.
my wife will wake me up, you know. It's just, but yeah. I paid a price. You know, I did. I paid a price.
Yes.
And,
Is there respect for you in the community for that?
oh,
Did
yeah.
they know that?
Yeah, the ones that knows about it, oh yeah, you get all kind of respect, and it's no
Black
problem.
policemen, you get respect from them?
Oh yeah, I get black.
People work in the supermarket, the banks.
I get respect for, you know, there's a lot of people knew about the deacons, but they didn't know who the deacons were. I had a guy up at Grambling that me and him have been good friends over the years. And his wife taught at Grambling University. My wife taught at Grambling University. And we were good friends, and I would go visit him, and he would come visit me. And we've been all overseas together, and all this stuff. Because my wife was president of the Links Incorporated. That's a you've heard about it. That's a college organization of sororities at universities. And she was president of it. Me and been all overseas. And he did not know anything about me being a deacon until month before last when I spoke at Grambling. He's a deacon at that church. And he came to me and he said, Charlie, he said, I want to fight. I said, what's that? He says, all this time, you've been to my house, I've been to your house, we've been all overseas together, and everything. And so you never mentioned that. And he said, I started to call you this last night. He said, they showed the films and all this stuff, and you and all of you speaking and all that stuff you was into and all. And I said, that can't be the Charlie. He said, Charlie never said nothing to me. He said, man, I could have got shot moving around with you. That's me. I didn't tell you. I didn't want you to be scared. But he was praising me, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And he said, man, so one of the guys up there, he knew about, but when they showed all those film and all this kind of stuff, told me, he said, you can't tell me no. It's up carrying you out and tell him. He said, I just got to do something. He said, I knew, but I didn't know what position you held in that, played in that part. And they had everything, you know, what part I played and all this kind of stuff in it. And it was...
So we're sitting here where it all began.
Right out there.
The modern armed defense of the civil rights movement organization,
Mm-hmm.
right here. What do you think about the legacy of the deacons? What do you want to happen? What do you see happening for the legacy of the deacons?
Well, I just really, it will go on, the legacy will go on, but not like I would like for it to. Because
What would you like for it?
I would like for it to rise up and be twice as big as it was in the 60s.
Oh,
Yeah, I would.
that's right. You told me on the phone. You have people come here asking about starting up a child
Right,
in today's world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, in today's world.
and you'd like to see that happen and rise.
Yeah,
The deacon rise again.
yeah, I like to see him rise again. I'm too old.
As a
for myself.
national organization, you say.
Yeah, I would like to see him rise again. Because as
Why?
of right now, you can see what's going on in the world. And we need it for our race of people to help them, not to get out there and shoot at nobody or nothing like that. But we need the knowledge of the people to get out there and help the young people and let them know what's going on and help them to get up in the world. Yeah.
Deacons for Defense today are a national organization, and they're trying to, their purpose is to try to help the young people or to help the young people.
Yeah, trying to help them.
But it's called Deacon for Defense. So are we defending again? Is this a kind of help that's defending, or are we stopping some of this whatever?
Yeah, what stopping what some of this whatever.
Okay.
Some of this whatever that
Yes.
needs to be stopped.
Okay. That's a wrap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we close it because we didn't get the day or the name?
Oh, yeah.
Can we just say we just finished?
Go.
it?
You
Yes.
go to the front of the
Yeah.
interview.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the name, the date.
So, sir, you go by Charles White.
Charlie White.
Charlie White, okay.
Yeah,
So
Charlie
we're
White.
Here with Mr. Charlie White at his home, his residence nearby where the Deacons of Defense in Jonesboro began. It is August
6.
6th, thank you, sir, 2019. And I'm Paul Ortiz of the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program. And we have just interviewed Mr. White in his home, in his residence. Thank you, Mr. White, for taking so much time. And
My pleasure.
each individual can introduce themselves.
Okay, well, let's do
Okay.
Other interviewers.
Okay. I'm Sarah Seshsh Heter Clifford Boxley from Natchez, Mississippi, an enabler of the Natchez Deacon for Defense and Justice.
How's it going? If you don't mind. Okay. We'll cut that part out though.
That is the Natchez Deacon for Defense. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I am Albert Jones. I'm a member of the NAACP, Natchez, Mississippi, and board member.
How are you? Marissa? Hold on. Let me focus. Sorry. This camera's great, but you gotta focus. Okay.
Marissa Volk with Samuel Proctor Oral History Program.
All right.
All right.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Yes. yes.
Okay.
I would say, I don't know, I didn't hear the other deacon in Bogalusa interview, but so far, you have shared, the deacons that we've interviewed, you have shared much more in depth. And I guess that would be natural because this is where it gets started.
Where it started.
Yeah.
It started.
Yeah.